You ever look up at a skyscraper under construction and think, man, those guys are brave? You should. Working at height isn't just for daredevils scaling buildings. It's more common than you think. Anytime you're at risk of falling from one level to a lower one, that's work at height. We're talking construction sites, sure, but also things like cleaning gutters, fixing roofs, even painting a two-story house. The point is, it doesn't have to be a skyscraper to be dangerous. A fall from 6 feet can ruin your day just as easily as a fall from 60. The bottom line, if you're off the ground, you need to be thinking about safety, no shortcuts, no exceptions. Your life might depend on it. Now, you might be thinking, I'm just fixing my roof. I'm not dangling from a skyscraper. And you're right, but here's the thing. A fall from a ladder can be just as dangerous as a fall from a scaffold. Maybe even more so because people tend to let their guard down. Think about it, you're more likely to skip the safety harness when you're 8 feet up on a ladder than when you're 80 feet up on a scaffold. But gravity doesn't care how high you are. A fall is a fall. Don't underestimate the risks of working at even seemingly low heights. A twisted ankle, a broken bone, or worse, it can all happen in the blink of an eye. So, whether you're a seasoned roofer or just a homeowner cleaning gutters, remember, safety first, always. Working at height comes with a unique set of dangers. First off, you got your unstable surfaces. Think rickety platforms, wobbly ladders, or roofs that haven't been inspected in a while. Not exactly what you want to be standing on when you're 100 feet in the air. Then there's the weather. Wind, rain, even a little ice can turn a routine job into a nightmare. Ever tried walking on a wet, sloped roof? Let's just say it's not for the faint of heart. And don't forget about falling objects. Tools, materials, even a dropped hammer can turn into a deadly projectile when it's falling from a height. That's why it's crucial to have a clear drop zone and make sure everyone below is wearing a hard hat. Of course, no discussion of workplace hazards would be complete without mentioning human error. We're talking about things like not using safety equipment properly, taking unnecessary risks, or just plain old not paying attention. We're all human. We all make mistakes, but when you're working at height, those mistakes can have serious consequences. Now, for the good stuff, how to stay safe when you're working at height. First and foremost, you need the right gear. And I'm not just talking about a hard hat and a pair of gloves. We're talking full-on personal protective equipment, PPE. This includes a properly fitted harness, a lifeline, and a secure anchor point. Your harness is your lifeline, literally. It's what connects you to the anchor point, which should be a solid, immovable object like a structural beam or a dedicated anchor point on the roof. The lifeline is what prevents you from hitting the ground if you do fall. Think of it as your backup plan. But PPE is just one piece of the puzzle. You also need to know how to use it properly. That means, getting trained and getting certified. And don't just assume you can figure it out on your own. A little bit of knowledge can go a long way when it comes to safety. Planning your work, working your plan. Before you even think about setting foot on a ladder or a scaffold, you need a plan. And not just a mental plan, a written risk assessment. This document outlines the potential hazards of the job, the safety precautions you're going to take, and the emergency procedures in place should something go wrong. Think of it like a roadmap to a safe and successful job. It forces you to identify potential problems before they arise and come up with solutions. It also ensures that everyone on the job site is on the same page when it comes to safety. Once you have your plan, stick to it. No cutting corners, no taking shortcuts. Remember, safety is not a destination, it's a journey. And like any journey, it requires careful planning and execution. Weathering the storm. Nature's impact on high altitude work. Mother Nature can be a fickle beast, especially when you're working at height. A sunny day can turn into a thunderstorm in the blink of an eye, and suddenly that routine job just got a whole lot more dangerous. That's why it's crucial to keep an eye on the forecast and be prepared to adjust your plans accordingly. High winds can make it difficult to maintain balance, rain can make surfaces slippery, and lightning is just plain dangerous. If the weather takes a turn for the worse, don't hesitate to call it a day and come back when conditions are safer. Remember, no job is worth risking your life for. And besides, wouldn't you rather be inside, enjoying a cup of coffee, than hanging on for dear life on a windswept rooftop? Teamwork makes the dream work. Communication and supervision. Working at height is rarely a solo endeavor. More often than not, you'll be working as part of a team. And when it comes to safety, communication is key. Everyone on the job site needs to be aware of the potential hazards, the safety protocols in place, and the emergency procedures should something go wrong. That's where supervision comes in. A competent supervisor is essential for ensuring that work is carried out safely and efficiently. They're responsible for conducting risk assessments, providing adequate training, monitoring weather conditions, and enforcing safety protocols. Think of the supervisor as the quarterback of the safety team. They're the ones calling the plays and making sure everyone is in the right position to succeed. But just like a quarterback needs a good team to win, a supervisor needs everyone on the job site to buy into the safety culture. Be prepared emergency procedures for working at height. Hopefully, you'll never have to use them, but it's crucial to have emergency procedures in place before you start working at height. What happens if someone falls? What if there's a fire? What if the weather takes a sudden turn for the worse? These are all questions that need to be answered before you start working. Make sure everyone on the job site knows the emergency evacuation route, the location of the first aid kit, and how to contact emergency services. It's also a good idea to have a designated rescue plan in place. This might involve having a trained rescue team on standby or knowing how to use the equipment to lower someone to safety. Remember, in an emergency situation, every second counts. Being prepared can mean the difference between a minor incident and a major tragedy.